I died 3 times in 3 months in 1977. That was back in Boise, Idaho. I call it the heavenly sledgehammer effect. 3 times in 3 months. It's like pow, it's like boom, boom, boom. If that doesn't tell you how stubborn I was before, I don't know what will. It took those 3 blows to turn me around. And turn me around it did. It gave me a whole new way of looking at the world, a whole new way of being, a whole new way of eating and walking and talking and living. It's like I became, I won't say another person, rather I became more of who I really am. I became more of my real self, our true self, who we really are, each and every one of us, who we really are. It's like you are your soul. It's like the greater you is your soul. It's your higher self, and I became more of that. And that enabled me then to live life with more joy. And to live life with more caring and more awareness and more openness and more liveliness. It enabled me to see through other people, my own children, my own family, my own self. It opened a reality for me that was above and beyond anything I had ever lived before or thought was possible before. It's like death is a doorway you walk through. It's like a shift. There's nothing to it. Any pain to be suffered, you feel before you die, not in dying. There's no pain in dying. And once you're on the other side, it's like you're in another world. A better world maybe for some people. For some other people, maybe not better. For me, it was expanded and it was lively. And it was so big. It took me years to really integrate that, to really be able to understand that, to plug in to how my life could be better or bigger than what I ever thought it was. It's like I was no longer name, rank, serial number, I was energy. I was light. I was joy. And I've never lost that. I've never lost that sense of being joy and energy and light. Did I have problems integrating it? You bet I did. Did it lead to paths that I didn't want to go? Yes. But it gave me the courage to go. It gave me the courage to do it. It gave me the courage to be it. It gave me the courage and the knowingness to face dark times, pain. Didn't matter. I could face it. Didn't like facing it, but I could face it. I could walk through it. One of the things in my case, when we're talking about near-death experiences, many of us forget that they come from violence and trauma, most of them. So you've got to heal that body afterward. So you're working with your body. And in my own case, I had to relearn how to crawl, how to stand, how to walk, how to climb stairs, the difference between left and right, how to see properly, hear properly, and rebuild all my belief systems. You know, a lot of near-death experiencers talk about heaven. Well, heaven for me was that day in downtown Boise, Idaho. I come from Idaho. Downtown Boise, Idaho, when I could walk an entire city block and I didn't fall down and there was no pain. You know, that was just glorious. Wow. Woo. And the things that happened afterward, sometimes they led me in paths that I didn't want to go. And I'd crash on my nose. You know, some of the things that happened to me, I'll tell you a funny little story. I was then working as a bank analyst for the largest bank in Idaho. And I had to do an errand and take some papers to Boise Cascade. Well, Boise Cascade office or the building is like one full city block. It's huge, and all of the offices are all the way around. All the way around the sides, and you go inside and all of the middle is open. It's just wide open, and there's all these trees and everything in there, and the elevators are right in the middle. There are 4 of them, and they go, you know, and all of the different walkways to the elevators on all the different floors they seemed like they were glass to me. I don't know if they were glass, but you could see through them. And so I was up, I think, maybe the 2nd or 3rd floor, and I had delivered my paper to the office that I was supposed to deliver it to, and I was walking back to the elevator, and there was a woman coming from the other side, also walking to the elevator, and she was the most beautiful woman I think I've ever seen. She was dressed to the nines. I mean, she was like a model. She was beautiful. But all around her were these thought forms of the dirtiest bathroom I'd ever seen. I mean, I could see these kinds of things. And her bathroom was filthy. So I did something you must never do, but I did it anyway. I walked right up to her, and out loud, I said to her face, I said, "Don't you ever clean your bathroom?" And she was so shocked, she got kind of huffy. She said, well, I just haven't had time to clean it lately, and besides, it's none of your business." And she walked off. And I roared with laughter afterward, and I slapped my face, and I said, you know, I've invaded her privacy. You should never invade anybody's privacy, but it was really funny. So I learned after that never to invade anybody's privacy. But I could see all these stuff. I could see thought forms. I could see energy. I could see all kinds of things in the air. And that was part of my typical after effects. You know, it's the after effects. They're both physiological and psychological. You know, the near-death experience is not a light show with a storyline. It's not. There's more. And the after effects are both physiological and psychological. And it's the experience and the after effects. They're 2 halves of the same coin. And it's the after effects that validate the experience, not the other way around. So you're dealing with all these after effects, and some of them are puzzling and confrontive and different. People who are able to see energy in the air, they're able to see everything is breathing. That's one of the things that I was able to do. The chair is breathing, the table is breathing, the wall is breathing, because I could see it moving. And everything is moving, except that we don't really see that. But science tells us that everything is moving, everything is vibrating, nothing is still. Well, after my experience, I can see that very clearly. I can see very clearly that everything is in movement. And I could see through people, you know, and that's a really heavy responsibility, because it's like, what do you do about that? And I learned to be very calm and very careful and very respectful around people, and not say anything, but maybe perhaps lead in very gentle ways, in mannerisms that might be able to help that individual, or invite that individual to think differently, or to enable that individual to, you know, maybe thinking in different ways, or having to deal with certain things in their life. I could very gently and easily offer skills or techniques or mannerisms that might make a difference, or a word that might make a difference. And that's my life. Of course, I was one of those people that became a researcher, and that's because of my third near-death experience. I really honestly felt that I reached that point of creation and consciousness where everything began, everything was, and a voice spoke when I was there. No, it wasn't a guide or a guardian or an angel or any of that. It was a voice so big. Yeah, how do you describe that kind of bigness? I mean, big, 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 big. We don't have words in our language to describe that kind of voice. And that voice said, and I quote, "Test revelation. You are to do the research. One book for each death." Wow. And then book one was not named. I really think that was coming back to life, but it wasn't named. Book two was named. That's Future Memory. It's out there. And book three is a very unique and special manual, which I'm now working on. And it showed me what was to be in each book, but it didn't show me how to do it. Well, I was a cop's kid. I was raised in a police station. I used police investigative techniques in my protocol, because that's what I knew. But that technique, that protocol became very important and very effective and very necessary in what I did. But really, in working with all these people, or interviewing these people, or having sessions with these people, nearly 4,000 adults and children, it enabled me to see myself through their eyes. That privilege, that honor of research enabled me to integrate my experience in very positive and right now and clear and practical ways, because I could see myself in their eyes. They were me, I was them. And that helped so much in helping me to understand where I was, what I was, and what I was doing. Taking on any kind of mission, any kind of purpose, which indeed I did. Not everybody gets a mission or a purpose, but I was one of those that did. And that's heavy duty. I've got to say it right now, that's heavy duty. It required a kind of commitment that I never dreamed I would ever make to anything or anybody, but I made that commitment to God, the God of my being, the God of the world, the God of the universe, the God of creation, the God of all oneness. that source, that incredible presence. And I made my commitment to that presence, that allness, that oneness, which I still call God. And that fueled my life. That gave me riches beyond imagination. That enabled me to see and understand how valuable being a human is. You know, if the truth is told about the near-death experience, it reveals more about life than it does death. And what it reveals is so brilliant, so great, that we as humans are co-creators with the Creator, endowed with abilities far beyond what we were taught or had any conception that we possessed. Human. It showed me what human is. Human. That incredible perfection that we are. You don't have to die to learn that. You don't have to pray to learn that. You don't have to go through any kind of transformation of consciousness to learn that. Be at peace and go within and breathe into the silence that you are. And there is God.